If my mama can get over my cussing, so can you. Be advised. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn. I'm from Oakland and I'm an androgynous, black, lesbian feminist and a lover of all black people.
This is Daren. I'm an asexual novelist, researcher, and bona fide comic book fanatic from the widest part of Southern California.
Orange County. We're queer millennials with 3 kids and nearly 20 years of marriage.
This is a podcast about the realities of blackness, adulting, and relationships.
This is That Black Couple. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing? Guess what today is?
What day is today?
Friday.
It is Friday.
And now that we have an actual schedule and we've got our lives together, that means it's podcast day.
It is Podcast Friday.
It is episode 3 of season 4 of That Black Couple, and I'm really excited. And what I want folks to grab is what I'm drinking. I really like Simply lemonade. It's my favorite.
It's very good.
I don't even like lemonade. I don't like lemonade. Like if I go to a restaurant, I don't think to myself, lemonade. Like I don't order lemonade.
Yeah, you never pull that off the shelf.
However, there's something about this. I don't know, because they're a Coca-Cola company, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crack in there.
That's what it is.
It's crack in there.
It's like the same crack that's in the Coke.
Yeah.
They slipped a little bit in the lemonade too.
It's in the orange juice too, because that orange juice is just different. That orange juice is different. I drink Coca-Cola. I drink Simply Orange. I drink Simply Lemonade. Something's wrong. It's crack.
It's a gateway drug.
It's a gateway drug. I don't care, y'all. Go grab some. Go grab some Simply. They got this raspberry one that hits. The strawberry's good, but the raspberry's different.
Yeah, the raspberry.
Ugh.
It just does something.
Anyway, have a seat. This is That Black Couple. I'm Jenn.
And I'm Daren.
And before we get started, please make sure that you follow us on Twitter, even though it's dying, and Instagram at That BLK Couple, and on Facebook at That Black Couple. Look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
And you already know you can find us everywhere. If they play in podcasts there, we play in there. That's Apple Podcasts, that's Google Podcasts, that's SoundCloud, that's Stitcher, all them places you can find us.
Why are you talking like that?
Because there's no excuse for you not
to
find us.
Why are you in your deep baritone like that?
There's no excuse.
If they playing this, you can find us. That's nasty.
You can find us there.
Ew. It's making me uncomfortable. Yuck.
Yep. And why would you not want to share this with your friends? So share it.
Because something wrong with him.
But that's what you're here for. Come on.
Yeah, actually, I think that is what they're here for. Yeah. Something wrong with you.
That and this talk.
Oh my God. What did y'all do to him? Why are you talking like this? Is it because it's love month?
You know what? Maybe that's what it
is. Valentine's Day is coming up.
It's the month of love. It's Valentine's Day is coming up.
So you gotta speak like Barry White.
So you gotta.
Oh God.
You know, this episode is about exploring the legacy of Black creatives.
It is. Want to get started?
And that includes.
Oh my God.
That includes Barry White.
What is wrong with you? Why? You are so tickled. Why are you throwing your head back and laughing at your own joke?
It took me a minute to hit that octave.
Good Lord Jesus.
But now we're there, y'all.
I'm going to strangle you. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm done. I promise.
Are you really?
I'm not going to do it no more.
Done?
I mean, I might slip into it on accident, but
this
not on purpose.
This cannot be like the Black Panther episode where you sat there and nope, don't you do it. Don't you do it. You almost did it. I saw you. Don't you
said Black Panther. You know, it elicits something inside of me.
It. Don't you start with me today, okay? It's been a week. Don't you do it, okay? We're not about to have another episode like that episode, which we will not speak of, where you just sit here and jump into whatever your caricature is every 5 seconds. Nope.
Listen, it's difficult. I'm trying to hold it in.
We're not doing that one, and we're not doing Barry White. Those are two. That's
Are we retiring
it's
them?
It's a hard boundary for me.
We're retiring them?
A hard boundary. It's a hard boundary for me.
We'll see how it goes.
What's wrong with you? Because I'm high. What's your excuse?
My excuse is Friday.
Oh, my God.
It's Podcast Friday. That's my excuse.
We're going to have to move the podcast to a different day.
Yes, there's so many ranges in my voice.
Little boy, if you don't start this episode...
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get started.
You must got some contact high.
It's this room. I'm telling y'all, the podcast room that we are in. I'm telling you, I think the weed has just permeated the walls.
Like a hot box.
Yeah, it's like alive. Every time we come down here, it's foolery. Every single time.
I almost spat out my Simply Lemonade strawberry.
Not the Simply.
Then start this episode. Segment 1. We are exploring the legacy of Black creatives.
Yes.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. Daren, who are you inspired by today that you want to start from the beginning of your inspiration?
You know, coming into this episode, I just really wanted to honor some people I think that have just left an indelible mark on Blackhood in a couple of different ways. Like I feel
Did
like
you say Black Hood or Black Hoods?
Whoa. Hey. I said Black Hood.
Oh, Black Hood.
Black Hood.
Like womanhood, but Black Hood.
Yeah, but Black.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, I feel like when we think about creatives, we always think about musicians because music and Blackness are just like intertwined. Like we are one and most music we created, But I wanted to actually honor an artist. His name is Henry Ossawa Tanner. And he's fucking amazing. And you might not know the name, but I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you've seen his work because every Black person has seen a Tanner painting. He's most notably known for his painting called The Banjo Lesson, which came out in 1893 is when he painted it. And it's a portrait of an older Black man with a young Black child on his knee and they're playing a banjo. And I know you done seen it somewhere in your mama's house, your grandmama's house, in a barber shop, in a church vestibule. You've seen it somewhere because if you're Black, you definitely cross paths with it. And the thing that I love about him, though, is realistically, he was the first Black painter that was like a celebrity. Like this was the first time it was like, oh my God, you doing some new shit.
That's amazing.
And to be actually kind of honored and respected and known for it. And what his work is really known for is it was this melding of styles. It was American realism mixed with French academic painting. And so if you've ever seen any of his work, like The Banjo Lesson, it's really painted and drawn in a way that feels very French. Like it feels very upper crust. It feels very bougie. But all of his paintings really depict Black people. Wow. It depicts slavery. Like it depicts poor folks, people that are striving and just trying to make it through, but drawn in a way that just feels very dignified and feels very gorgeous. And that's what he's known for. And I just feel like, we can talk about Beyonce, we can talk about all these people that are, present day that have done these great things, but like, let's pay homage.
Wait, so was he French or was he in the U.S.?
No, he's a Black man from the U.S.
Wow.
He spent most of his time in France, actually.
Yeah.
He studied in the U.S. and he studied in France.
Because when we said 1893, I mean, slavery ended just 30 years before that.
Exactly.
1865 was
his mother was an escaped slave.
Got it.
That's the proximity that we have here.
Okay.
Just to put some respect on this man's name.
Okay.
Right?
That's helpful.
We just like an inch from slavery.
Right. Right.
We just a shoulder touch
he was
from slavery.
Born in it. Right. I mean, wow.
Yeah. His mother was an escaped slave. His father was an abolitionist. Right.
Wow.
And coming out of that already, I feel like that's the greatness of Blackness. Right. To come from those type of beginnings and be able to create masterful work on that type of a level just shows the greatness of what we are. And that is Henry Ossawa Tanner.
Fantastic. Well, do you want to know? You want to know where mine starts?
I think I have an inkling, but I would love
to hear. You got an inkling? Why you got an inkling?
Because I know you and I know how you operate.
Wow.
But I want to hear from you.
I would like to start with the indubitable, the incomparable, the smotherable, Ma Rainey.
She gets all the ables.
She gets all the ables. Ma Rainey was super dope. She actually, her birth name is Gertrude. And I feel bad about that because that's always the name I choose when I'm making fun of a freckled white lady. You know, I'm like,
Well, I mean, she went by Ma for a reason.
But yeah, she didn't give Gertrude, she gave Ma. And she was born in 1886. A lot of people know about Ma Rainey because of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, the movie with Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman, right? Which
Excellent movie.
Fantastic,
by the way.
Fantastic. But I think what a lot of people don't know is that Ma Rainey was like a very out lesbian. Like, well, she was married to a man, Pa Rainey. And, you know, she had her affairs on the side, but she was very overtly like with women. And there were moments in her career where she actually would record music that would have overtly like sexual language about sleeping with people's wives. And she would like make fun of the husbands for essentially being cuckolds. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, she's born in 1886. So this is some thuggish, ruggish bone type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she was absolutely a megastar. You know what I'm saying? She was one of the greatest well-known singers of the time, not just for like Black folk, but for singers. A lot of people say that she's kind of like the birth of blues music. Like she is the originator. She recorded 100 records with Paramount. And if you know anything about how these companies were back in the day, they often started off as like a Woolworths or like a Shoe Shine or a furniture store, and then it turned into some like other corporation. So Paramount actually started out as a furniture store, and they went bankrupt. She would keep recording all this music, and she never actually had the rights to her own music. But in all that to say, she would have these recording contracts and these relationships with these people who were so irresponsible. And yet she was still able to own her own shit. Like she still would walk in like, listen, what you're not about to do is not give me my money, right?
That's one of my favorite scenes in that movie too.
Right. Like she was a thug. And I think that, you know, it's good that we have films like this to think about who she was, but I hope people dig into Ma Rainey's actual lived experiences a little bit more. When she died, on her death certificate, they put that she was a housekeeper. So after she had done all that labor and had done all that work and become this iconic star, she was identified as a housekeeper, you know, in 1939. So, you know, but she just, you know, started at 53 years old, because that was, you know, sad to say for a lot of Black elders in that moment. You know, they didn't live very long, but they lived through so much. But yeah, Ma Rainey, super gay and a thug.
Thuggish, ruggish bone.
Thuggish, ruggish bone.
This podcast is supported by generous donations from our patrons and listeners. Become a supporter today by heading to www.patreon.com/coloredcombosmedia.
You can stream the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. When you listen, please consider hitting that heart button, sharing, giving us a 5-star rating, and leaving some dope comments. This helps us with our page rankings and gets more listeners for the show. Thank you so much.
So what's the next section, Darren? What are we doing now?
So now we're talking about Black history icons, creative culture makers, in a more contemporary sense.
So for this section, I chose Audre Lorde. Audre Lorde, aka the GOAT, was she was a poet. She was born in 1934. She passed away in 1992. And so what you'll notice about Audre's life is that it wasn't very long. And I it makes me kind of sad that the people I'm picking didn't have long lives, but I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
So Audre is actually she was born to West Indian immigrant parents, and she had very strict family members and parents, and so she was socialized kind of to be respectable and to be small and to hide parts of herself. So she actually was legally blind as a child, and she didn't speak for a very long time. She didn't speak till she was 5. And what was interesting is that back then, you know, folks didn't have a lot of understanding about disabilities and the way that they manifest in children, you know, and so it was kind of like, you know, figure it out. You can see that, right? And I think her story has always resonated with me because I was a very blind child. Like I was born with disabilities that made me a very non-seeing person. And, you know, you get made fun of and you don't understand what's going on because you can't see, right?
Yeah.
So Audre went to school and, you know, was still expected to perform above her peers. Remember, West Indian parents. They expected her to have, you know, the best grades, better than everyone else. And she did. She did. She managed to do it even though she could not see the board sometimes. And so she actually is, you know, she was a disabled person. Audre Lorde is best known, you know, I think for her work on what people associate with the self-care movement. And her proclamations, like if I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunching other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful. But Audre Lorde's work is really at the intersection of race, gender, class, ability, you know, and she talks so much about what it means to love women. She was a very, very much so a lesbian, right? And her poetry, her writing is all reflective of what it meant to be a Black lesbian in these overtly white academic spaces, you know? She wrote candidly about how she would come into contact with white, you know, air quotes, allies who were supposed to be feminists, who were supposed to be advocating for her, and who actually took up space and erased her experiences and erased her intellect, you know? And it's just, she's not credited enough for her work on comradeship and solidarity. Her work on, self-care is wonderful, but also her work on disability. She has a whole book about her experiences with cancer, you know?
Yeah.
The cancer journals are iconic, you know? Because she's writing, some parts are like diary, you know, just about her experiencing pain, how it felt to have pain in her body that day, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. Incredibly beautiful person. She died and she was only 58 years old. So this is another example of a Black woman who, you know, gave her life to the struggle, gave her life to Black people, and maybe didn't have much of it left for herself.
We gotta stop using each other up, y'all.
I'm sorry.
We gotta.
So sad.
Such a wonderful, beautiful person. I feel like it just.
Yep.
It feels so sad and depressing.
Yeah.
But you know, like you did say that she gave so much of herself
to us,
and we should be grateful.
And I'm like, listen, my life is indelibly changed because of what I read from Audre. Her poetry is on my arm. Her intellectual contributions are on my arm. She's one of the only people whose words, you know, get to be on my body because, you know, she is so critical to Black feminist thought and the ways that so many of us have come to know ourselves.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Well, how do I follow that?
I don't know. Go ahead. Try.
Wow. Okay.
Your turn.
Well, my contemporary choice is the amazing, I don't even know how to describe, but just so well known, just, you know, just a part of the culture. The one and only August Wilson. He was a playwright. He was a poet. And I feel like so many artists that we're talking about today, what their work tends to do, and I think this is what almost every Black creative on the face of this earth has ever done, is create art that's a reflection of Black life. And most times it's the life that they've lived, right? It's the things that they've seen. Like you were just talking about Audre Lorde and the cancer journals, right? Like writing about, this is my experience, and sharing that and having other people kind of commune with that artistic expression. And that's what August Wilson was all about. That's what his work was. Most notably, he was a playwright. He wrote a number of plays. He's most known for a set of 10 plays that's called the Pittsburgh Cycle. And they were all just about Black life in the 20th century. So it's basically like this is what it's like to be black. Like that was the play. Like it wasn't like, oh, Billy's trying to play baseball and someone doesn't want him to play. No, his stories were like, we black and this shit hard. Like that was the plot of this of his plays. Probably his most well known play, Fences. Just fucking brilliant. Yeah. If you haven't seen the movie with Denzel and Viola, what are you doing with your life, right?
Wow.
Because again, also just brilliant. Yeah. And again, also just a reflection of black life, right? It was the struggles of black manhood. It was the struggles of black womanhood. It was the struggles of parenting. It was the struggles of disability. It was just the struggle of being black.
It's a very complicated
in the world, right? And I mean, goes without saying, those performances are just.
I mean, I never
stellar,
seen Viola blow a bigger bubble out of her nose.
That's the biggest mucus bubble.
That's the biggest bubble she
has
ever blown in any movie or show.
That alone deserves an award.
The bubble was so big and it pops. Whoa, you know.
But he had other plays too, right? Also well known, The Piano Lesson. Also Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Also, that was his play that he wrote, which then was turned into the Netflix film. Something about Viola and August Wilson. I know I think she's given some interviews about about how she just really loves his work.
His stuff resonates for her.
And listen, she brings it to life every time.
Listen, hey, it's in her DNA.
But I think the thing about August Wilson, you know, and what I like about what we're doing with this episode is, right, these people, they're known for things, right? They're known for the work, but we don't necessarily know much about their lives, right? We don't necessarily know about the person who then became the creator.
Right.
And August Wilson, I mean, this is a man who grew up in Pittsburgh. He dropped out of high school at 15 years old.
Wow.
Because a teacher had accused him of plagiarizing.
Wow.
And he was like, fuck that, I'm out.
Wow.
Right? And basically became a playwright and a poet by soaking up culture. Like he just went around and just soaked up culture. He just was with the people and he then reflected their work. Wow. And then he wrote plays upon plays upon plays. He worked with circles of black folk, right? Building community. And that is how he became who he became. That's how August Wilson became August Wilson.
That's dope.
But like so many other black people, he grew up, primarily in a single mother household. His father was actually a German immigrant. Mother was a black woman. And his dad was pretty much not around, right? And so a lot of the work, again, that he put out was a reflection of the life that he lived, the life that he saw, right? Yeah. And that's why everything feels, I think, so real and so visceral.
And so heavy.
So heavy because it's close. And I think when I think about, like I was saying before, when I think about black culture and black artistic expression, whether it's, you know, paint, whether it's a play, a poem, a novel, a song, right? If it's rap, if it's gospel, if it's R&B, if it's jazz, all of it has that visceral, energetic, just emotional heft to it. Yeah. Because it is an expression of our lives. And I think that's what sets black artistry apart from general artistry in the world.
Wow. Well, you followed it up pretty good. I think that was hey.
How'd I do?
That was great. That was great.
Well, when you're working with greats like these, like August Wilson, like Audre Lorde,
Rainey,
Henry
Ossawa,
I mean,
Tanner.
It's easy. I mean, they're icons.
I agree.
You can find my mom and dad, aka That Black Couple, on the web at thatblackcouple.com. That Black Couple is owned and operated by Colored Combos Media. If you would like to help fund our content, sign up at www.patreon.com/coloredcombosmedia. Please consider giving us $5 or $10 per month to help us build our platform and grow our organization. You can also give one-time donations at www.paypal.me/coloredcombosmedia. All donations are welcome.
We're back.
We back.
Now it's time to close it out.
All right. I'm ready. I've been ready.
I'm excited because we've been talking about some heavy hitters.
Well, that's a lot of heavies.
It's a lot of heavies.
Yes.
But now we're talking about the future. We're talking about,
I'm ready.
You know, what we're looking forward to, who's making moves today, who needs to be honored today for the work they're doing today. And I'm going to start out with someone I've just fallen deeply in love with. I just love her. She just,
she's amazing.
She does things to me. It's Samara Joy. And to give y'all a little bit of context of why I'm gushing about this woman, I'm an old school type of a dude, I play double bass. I love jazz music, that's my shit, right? And I'm not that old, but I'm kind of, you feel kind of out of place. Like a lot of people our age are not like, oh, that jazz, did you hear that snare? Yeah, that snare was going like, that's not what we're really talking about. But what Samara Joy is doing is just, it's so amazing. I mean, she's bringing Billie Holiday, in 2023. Like, who does that? And the fact that she has gotten so much acclaim, so much recognition. The Grammys was just last week. She brought home two Grammys. Best Jazz Vocal Album and Best New Artist.
I knew she had Best New Artist. I didn't know she had the Best Jazz Vocal Album. Holy crap. I'm not surprised because she's fantastic.
Now, here's the things you might not know. Number one, she was born November 11th, 1999.
Yeah, she's a kid.
She's a kid.
She's 24.
When
I knew that.
She has 2 albums that she's put out. When she recorded her first album, she was still in college.
Yeah, so I think I first noticed her when she was on, like, was it online? I saw a video or something like that, and I just heard her singing. And I can't remember if you sent it to me or I sent it to you, but this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago, and we were just kind of circulating her stuff online, like on YouTube or something like that. Yeah. So when I saw her the other night, I was like, holy crap. Like, this is your segment.
No, go ahead.
I just like she ascended really quickly too.
She did.
She ascended really quickly, and I think that's so amazing because she's singing a genre of music that typically folks don't get credit for or any type of acknowledgement. And I'm like, wow! And she's a Black girl, and she's a real Black girl, and she got traditionally African American features. Yep. You know what I'm saying? She got big, kinky hair. I'm just like, I'm happy. Oh God, I'm here for all of it.
The thing is, like you said, she's a Black girl. She's young, and she's doing something that young people are generally not known for, not identifying with. And it's not even so much that she's just such a skilled jazz singer.
Yeah.
But she also there's like a little bit of an edge. There's a little bit of modern to what she does, which to me, like when you listen to like jazz standards and stuff, they pretty much sound the same. People tend to make the same choices. But she just always does something just a little bit different. Yeah. And I just feel like that's one of those things like when you're carrying the torch and you're bringing it forward. Like we're taking jazz music and we're not letting it die. Just like, I feel like every 5 years or so people go, R&B is dead. And then it's like, people are like, hold up. And then someone else come out and you realize R&B ain't motherfucking dead.
Ain't never gonna die.
Ain't never gonna die. Just like jazz ain't never gonna die.
Never gonna die. As long as you got Black people, you got R&B and jazz.
And that's the thing with Samara Joy, right? To be honest, she hasn't been singing jazz for that long, right? She
can't have because she's only as old as,
right. No, when I say that, I mean it's like,
I'm joking.
But it's not like she grew up and her parents were like, "You gonna sing jazz," and like a lot of parents do. She comes from a very musical family. Yeah. A lot of singers and musicians in her family. But if I remember correctly, she didn't really even come into like really knowing jazz or performing jazz until like I think like her late teens. Wow. Like end of high school.
Imagine just coming into it and being Samara Joy.
But it's like I think it also is a testament to number one, just skill and just artistry. Yeah. And when you have it, you have it.
When you have it, you have it.
And I think she just steeped herself in it and just was like,
I'm gonna study.
This fits me.
She found her lane.
This is where I am. This is where I stay. And if you haven't heard of her, number one, what's wrong with you? Yeah. Number two, go look her up because lives rent free in my head.
I hope that a whole new fleet of young Black folk find themselves in jazz music now. I hope that they find themselves singing it. I hope they find themselves listening to it, and I hope that there's a return to jazz.
And that's the thing, right? And this to me reminds me of Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men, because he said people always come up to him and say, "Oh, no one does it like y'all do," and he's like, people can do it. It's like we can still go out here and harmonize and do shit, but you gotta You got to do it. You got to study it. You got to be right about the artistry.
Right.
Same thing with jazz. Like, I think a lot of people felt like jazz was old. Mm-hmm. It was over. It was for old white people. And Samara Joy said, no, no, no.
You know why? Because they made that stupid ass LA movie making it seem like jazz came from fucking what's her name? Easy A. And Ryan Gosling. I saw that movie. I said, oh well, I never.
That's what you said.
I said, well, I never.
As you said, I hope people see her doing her shit.
Yes.
And I hope they pick up a motherfucking instrument.
And I hope they remember that jazz is black.
I hope they read some sheet music.
Yes. Get with it.
You know, I hope they get themselves a bouffant. I don't know.
I don't care.
Do something.
Whatever they gotta do to be more jazzy.
But keep that shit alive.
Jazz hands. Whatever.
Whatever
you gotta
takes. Do. Okay.
Oh,
all right. What you gonna talk about?
Okay. So as we've been talking, I've been thinking. Okay. So I don't want to pick because I am so excited about young black people, and I just really am excited about the creativity and the ingenuity of young black people. Like, I am always so impressed because, like, when they make TikTok dances and they go like viral, and everyone around the world is doing these TikTok dances, and they get into Make the Stallion videos, I'm like, holy shit! Like, black kids are fucking phenomenal.
They're a force.
These black kids that I'm watching on TikTok, that I'm watching on these Instagram reels, they are so incredible. They're so talented. They're so confident. They're so authentic. And I'm just like, like, I keep thinking about that Steve Harvey challenge where they were playing the clip of Steve Harvey and it was like a tongue-in-cheek, you know what I'm saying? And these kids all put on the Steve Harvey helmet hat so they could look like they was bald, but they didn't try. But that was the whole point. Some of them had on like a real bald cap, and some of them had on just a wave cap, but that was like kind of stuck with brown paper on it, or like whatever they had to do to make it look like a bald cap. And then they had on the most bootleg mustaches and the loosest fitting suits, and they all hit the splits at the right time. I'm just like, how are y'all so cool? Y'all are so much cooler than us, and we thought we were so cool.
Listen.
We thought we were so cool.
It's crazy. It's the thing for me is I can't keep up.
No.
Like, there's a new challenge, there's a new
word,
new dance, there's a new something. A new trend.
Fleek came and went, and
like I don't know how they not only keep up but innovate,
right,
and create and turn shit into new, greater, better shit.
Right.
They're always upgrading.
They're just good.
They're so quick. They're so creative.
I think about people like Marseille Martin. Like, I'm just like, good Lord, you're just so cool. You're
just a boss before you're legal.
Right. Chloe and Halle, both dope sisters, just dope together, dope squared. So I want to shout out one particular young black person who I am just, I be seeing her pass across my Instagram and I be like, wow, I can't wait to see her grow up. You know what it is?
Who?
Zaya motherfucking Wade.
Oh my God.
I am obsessed. With Zaya Wade. I'm obsessed with her.
I'm astonished.
Oh my God. That little girl, and she's stunning. She posts her little pictures, you know what I'm saying? And she's modeling, and she's just wearing the bagangs, and she's got the hair. And I'm just like, bitch, like, I was not that cool. I was never that cool. I was never that dope. I was never that confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Zaya, for me, is like one of those kids I see, and I'm like, you are the future. Like, you know who you are. You don't give a shit what people have to say. You set your boundaries in your own household with your parents, and you set it with all of us. You like, listen, adults, get it together. Get it together, because this is who I am. And the world was like, you're right.
What the world gonna do?
What we gonna do? Because you that bitch.
Got us in a motherfucking chokehold.
Right, you on our necks. You on our necks. You on our throats. So we can't do nothing. Your heel is on our throat.
And that, honestly, I'm glad that you picked Black youth as your choice, because it does, I think, inspire hope
Yes.
Because I feel like there's always this fear.
Yeah.
Like it's an irrational fear. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's an irrational fear that at some point blackness is going to drop off. That at some
drop
point,
off or get usurped or co-opted or caricatured, you know? And every few years, a new Kardashian does something with some lips or a booty. And then, you know, you're afraid that means that people are going to forget that black people are actually here, you know, or they discover, you know, braids or something and then or baby hair, you know? And I'm excited because, you know, we have 3 black kids upstairs, right? We have 3 dope ass, like cutting edge, innovative black kids who have boundaries, who don't subscribe to folks' gender ideals, who don't give a fuck what people think about them. And I just be like, damn, y'all so cool. They be leaving for school and I'm just like, wow, you rock that headband. You rock that dangly ear. You rock that unicorn shirt. Cool kid. Like, they're just so fucking dope. They're just so fucking dope.
they're just otherworldly.
They're the future, man.
And I, for one, cannot wait to see what
I
the hell it
can't
look
wait.
like.
I just want to sit and watch. I'm not trying to get involved. Like, I just want to.
I feel like we put in our time.
I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
I did what I need. I know I did what I need to do. I gave birth to 3 of them, so I've contributed to the movement. I have an honorary position somewhere because I contributed. So yes, just so y'all know, I'm writing my letter to the Black Youth leader of the secretarial department that I contributed. Just want to make sure y'all have that.
Yeah, you deserve your certificate.
Yeah, the official acknowledgement.
Your badge, your
Yes.
patch.
I want a little letter that says you contributed.
Does
A star.
on the stationery?
Yeah, someone just have a star. Ma'am, you contributed. Star.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for listening. Before you go, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ThatBLKCouple, on Facebook at ThatBlackCouple, and look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
Bye.